Call the meeting to order, the City of Maricopa Planning and Zoning Commission on this Monday, December 23rd, 2024 at 6 p.m. Our invocation tonight will be by Commissioner Irving, and our Pledge of Allegiance will be by Commissioner Brems. Take it away, Mr. Irving.
Rise if you could. Dear Father, thank you for another day, and let us rejoice in the day you've given us. And we just so thankful for you, especially during this wonderful season. Father, we ask to be with all the people who will be traveling over the season. Be with them, keep them well. And especially, Father, we reach up all our young children who are out of school and hope they have a good vacation, a good time. Again, be with us, enjoy the season, and again, we just thank you for all you've done for all of us. We ask this in your precious name. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. That'll take us to roll call, please, Julie.
Commissioner Brems.
Here.
Commissioner Wattis.
Here.
Vice Chair Singleton. Chair Robertson.
Here.
Commissioner Irving.
Here.
Commissioner Yoakum.
Here.
And Commissioner Thomas.
Present.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you, Julie. That'll take us to item number 3, call to the public. If you wish to speak, please complete a speaker card and submit to the chairman at the start of the meeting. The procedures to follow if you address the commission are as follows. The commission requests that you express your ideas in 3 minutes or less and refrain from any personal attacks or derogatory statements about a city employee, a fellow citizen, or anyone else, whether in the audience or not. The chairman will limit the discussion whenever he deems such action is appropriate for the proper conduct of the meeting. Is there anybody who would like to address the commission at this time? Seeing no one, we'll close the call to the public. Item number 4, the minutes. Gentlemen, if you reviewed the minutes, we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the December 9th, 2024 meeting.
I move approval as submitted.
Second?
I second it.
Second from Commissioner Thomas. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The minutes are approved. Takes us to item 4.1. I'm sorry. Item number 5, 5.1, General Plan Amendment 24-04, a public hearing. The Planning and Zoning Commission shall discuss and take action on a request by the City of Maricopa for a major general plan amendment on approximately 716.5 gross acres of land for a master plan community, MPC, medium density residential, MDR, and open space, OS, to employment, E, designation. The proposed amendment is generally located in the south of the Maricopa-Casa Grande Highway, east of North Porter Road, east of North White and Parker Road, and north of West Peters and Knoll Road. This will be for discussion and action, and we have a presentation from staff. Take it away, Rick.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the Commission. This is our second meeting regarding this major general plan amendment. And before we kick this off, I would just like to point one thing out, and just for the folks watching at home or anyone that's seeing us online, there was an article that came out in Maricopa, I believe it was Friday or Saturday, talking a lot about this, and they referred to it as a rezoning. Just want to make it crystal clear for those at home and those in the audience, this is a major general plan amendment. We are amending the future land use map. This is not a rezoning by any means. Just want to clear that up. Moving forward, City of Maricopa is the applicant for this. Chairman just read the location of it, so I'm not going to read through that again. I would point out that of all the area that you see outlined in the yellow and black outline up there, it totals a little over 1,300 acres. What we're asking you for this evening is to amend about 716 of that moving forward. And that is because once you take a look at the current land use map, the request this evening is to amend to the employment land use. Well, looking again based on the black and yellow outlines up there, you can see that a large portion of this is already designated as employment land use on the map. There are a combination of city and private parcels. I will say that the city has probably the majority of those. Currently, there's master plan community, medium density residential, open space, and as I noted last time, a sliver of commercial, which we believe to be a Scrivener's error when the mapping was originally done. Directing your attention to the proposed land use map, with your approval this evening and forwarding to the City Council, you can see that it'll take the entirety of that area that's outlined in black and yellow, and it'll essentially amend that map to designate everything here, the employment land use. The employment land use, it's a broad designation. It offers office, industrial, and commercial, varying scales of intensity depending upon where it is located, whether it be adjacent to the railroads or a little bit off. And also provides for retail, wholesale, and business park as well. Now, if you recall in the first meeting, we talked a little bit about the Santa Rosa Wash and some of the challenges that come along with that. So I'm going to skip that portion of this right now because I'm going to come back to it at the end of the presentation. So as I noted in the staff report, which was forwarded onto y'all and has been on our website for several weeks now, the amendment that we're asking you for this evening is in general conformance with the current general plan, but more specifically, it really does address a number of not only elements but goals and objectives in the general plan. In the staff report and what's posted on site, I listed all of them, and they're numerous. But I picked a few specific ones here this evening just to point out. And the first one there is it achieves a balance in the community between jobs and housing. And over the last years, those conversations are coming up more than often. Will drastically address those and really take Maricopa into the next decade from a jobs market standpoint. Develop an efficient and safe transportation system. With the regional opportunities that we have here, not only with the Maricopa Casa Grande Highway, Interstate 8, Interstate 10, the Future 11, I-10 or I-11 reliever, but more specifically the railroad that we have going through here and the ability to build future spurs that will spur future growth. Establish Maricopa as a regional leader in economic development. This is the perfect place and the perfect opportunity to do that. And then finally, we have a unique opportunity with the wash corridor that goes through there. As I stated in the last meeting, this will be developed as a regional trail, multi-use with hard surface and a decomposed granite hard pack. As future development comes along and we get into the rezoning of these properties moving forward in order to develop, I assure you when we're bringing these back to you, the trail component will be a major aspect of it. With respect to public outreach, and I'm not going to read through all of these, but we began the 60-day agency review in September 25th, 2024. And that's a little bit of a different review process. That's, the agency review is adjoining cities, the county, the utility companies, things of that nature. The 600-foot property radius for property owners, that came later in the process. Notification of the neighborhood meetings were sent out. We conducted a neighborhood meeting. We've advertised this in the newspaper. We posted 5 different sites at various locations throughout the area. We had our first, I would just note on November 25th, the 60-day agency review closed, that's an ARS requirement for that 60 days. We had our first Planning and Zoning Commission meeting on December 9th, which was at the library. And here we are this evening, before you again this evening as an action item. So, as I stated, there were lots of questions last time about the floodplain and how we got there. And so I went back to Dan Frank who's our floodplain administrator here at the city. And I said, I asked him just to clarify this for me. How can I put it in layman's terms so that folks can understand it? I don't like to read slides, but I am going to read this one. And what he came back and said, Rick, the improvements identified in the recently approved conditional letter of map revision, the CLOMAR that we had talked about before, consists of nearly 20 miles of channel improvements along the entire lengths of the Santa Cruz and Santa Rosa washes through the city. The key components of the regional solution consist of a large regional basin and an interceptor channel to collect floodwaters along the southern edge of the city and route it to an improved Santa Rosa wash. These improvements will eliminate the wide, shallow floodplain in the area as well as the overtopping of the Maricopa-Casa Grande Highway. In all, implementation of the regional solution identified in the CLOMAR will remove approximately 8 square miles from the floodplain. And so he also drew me up a little map, and that's what you see here. So the light kind of blue areas are the wash corridors. You can see the regional basin in there. And I would just point out this is specific to this area. There are other improvements in other areas of the city down south here that are also being constructed that lead to the ability to do this. So when I say that our floodplain administrator has signed off on this, it's been an in-depth conversation, and it's a regional city problem that they've been dealing with for years. So this is really good news. And so I hope that helps clear up a little bit more than just the broad statement that I made last time that, the floodplain administrator said, sure, it looks good. But, this is more of a definitive statement. So that being said, staff recommends Planning Commission approve the Maricopa Industrial Triangle Major General Plan Amendment as presented and outlined in your staff report. I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick. Before we go to questions from the commission, this is a public hearing, so I will open a public hearing for any comments from the public on this matter. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing and we'll go to the commission for comments. Comments, anybody?
Covered it last time.
The only comment I would have, I think we covered this rather thoroughly at our last meeting, and if anything, I think Rick has enhanced all of the thoughts that we've had, and especially the floodplain issue.
I agree. Yep. Great job, Rick.
Anyone else? I had one question, Rick. Agency review, the 60-day close, did you have any feedback?
Chairman, members of the commission, the only feedback that we received was from the MSIDD, which is the irrigation district, with respect to their canals, just noting that their canals run through many acres of the area here. We're very adept at dealing with them. We encounter them quite a bit. It's not uncommon. And we essentially agreed to work together in the future as these properties develop to make sure that their needs are met.
Okay. So that'll be project-specific as they come before us.
And we typically will deal with that, sir, when we get into the rezoning of the properties and specific stipulations that are attached to it, along with traffic and many other things. But clearly, the MSIDD is a part of that conversation.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would move approval of the recommended amendment GPA 24-04 as presented by the staff.
Motion for approval from Commissioner Irving. Second? Second for Commissioner Juarez. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Good job, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. Okay. Don't go very far. Takes us to 5.2, sub 24-16, Planning and Zoning Commission shall discuss and take action on subdivision case sub 24-16, Anderson Farms, Phase 3A, a request for preliminary plat approval to subdivide 30 acres of land into 126 single-family lots and 13 open space tracts for a residential subdivision. This is for discussion and action. Presentation, Rick, take it away.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the commission. This is kind of exciting. It really is. The Anderson Farm subdivision is a big deal. It's a big development. Lennar Homes, it's a really nice development as well, and they're moving along. Just a little bit of history. Commissioner Thomas, I'm not sure you were here, but a number of months ago, we did a minor PAD amendment for phase 2 there, so we could bring a different product in. A couple of years ago, phase 1A and 1B were platted, and now we've got phase 3A coming in, another 30 acres that they're anxious to move forward on. It contains 126 residential lots on the 30 acres. This phase of it is built at a density of 3.9 dwelling units per acre. And I've got the breakdown there for you. 80 of the lots are 45 by 120s, 46 of them are the 50 by 120s. So we're not talking about, the alternative lot sizes here. This is what the PAD was approved to do from the very beginning. So the applicant has provided a preliminary landscape plan. We've got 2 large open space tracts plus the open space tract that runs along Anderson Boulevard there. All residents within the phase will be provided adequate access to the open space areas, meeting the requirements of Section 17 of the subdivision code. Taking a little bit different look at it, 2 access points, main access point there off of Anderson Farms Boulevard, and then a secondary entrance down there to the south. We've got pedestrian connections throughout the development. They all lead west. Phase 4 will be the next phase to come in right next to this one, and it also it's really exciting to let you know that we're working on the site plan for the community park with the lake and the pool. I mean, it's really going to be nice, and everything leads east, connecting and bringing pedestrian activity to that. And more specifically, and also just as important, but we've got connections to future phases that are already being stubbed out, and it'll just be a seamless transition from 3A to 4, and the whole development was designed that way. This is Anderson Farms is a really nice PAD. It's going to be a wonderful community. The development is consistent with the general plan. More importantly, it's very consistent with the Anderson Farms PAD. Meets the outline requirements in Section 17 of our subdivision code, as well as Section 18 of the zoning code as well. Sir, with that, staff is recommending that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve the Anderson Farms preliminary plat for Phase 3A this evening, subject to the conditions of approval stated in the staff report. That concludes my presentation tonight, sir. Be happy to answer any questions you have. And we also happen to have Miss Vicki sitting right back there with Lennar Homes that can fill in any of the blanks that I can't.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, this is an impressive project. I was out there the other day. I was amazed at how quickly the road construction, the road improvements, the half lane, half road, that the part that's under construction right now, how quickly it's moving along, turning Hartman Road into a 4-lane parkway almost, divided parkway. And this will obviously add to that extension of that as we go future. So to say that we're not building roads to meet our growth is a stretch. Any comments from the commissioners? Questions for staff? Well, we're getting off easy tonight, Rick. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second by Commissioner Yocum and a second by Commissioner Irving. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, don't go away yet.
Don't go away yet.
Let's open up for a report from the staff and the commission.
Okay, Chairman, Commissioners, first off, I just would like to thank you all for being here this evening. Not before Christmas Eve. you guys have really stepped up to the plate, and I thank you, the staff thanks you, and the people of Maricopa thank you. So our next Planning Commission meeting is going to be January 27th, 2025. We're going to have the election of officers at that meeting. I do not have anything tracking for the first meeting in January at this point, but we will be convening on the 27th. And then just on a personal note, a special thanks. Commissioner Irving, you've been here as longer than I've been here, but since day one, you and Commissioner Yocum have been here, and I just can't thank you enough for, not only the insight you've brought to these meetings, but just the way you plug in and your humbleness and your kindness, and it's just been a pleasure working with you, and I'm excited that you're going to be joining us on the General Plan Advisory Committee, so I get to continue this relationship a little bit longer, and I just want to say thank you so much. Happy holidays to y'all. Please be safe out there, and I can't wait for 2025. We're going to have another great year. Mr. Chairman.
Jim, I'd like to second his comments.
Thank you.
You have been a mentor. You're one of the first names I heard when I came to Maricopa 11 years ago. Heavily involved with the seniors, heavily involved with the kids, heavily involved with the school district.
No.
You're everywhere. And you're about as humble as I am. But sir, I would like to thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you very much, all of you.
We'll accept a motion to adjourn. So moved by Commissioner Brems, all in favor?
Seconded.
We are adjourned. Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you very much.